A low-carb biscuit that actually tastes good? I'll be the judge of that. Look at that. Look at that. Y'all. Oh, they're hot. Oh. Welcome to Highfalutin Low Carb, the place where we find and test the best low-carb recipes this internet to offer. I'm going to be the recipe of a low-carb biscuit battle. You heard right. Biscuit battle. Our research team has narrowed down our low-carb semifinalists into two basic categories, and those are biscuits that use cheese as a base for their rise and their texture, and then biscuits that use cold butter cut into dry ingredients, much like a regular biscuit or pastry. Now, when you heard me mention cheese as a base, I do not mean like Red Lobster's Cheddar Bay biscuits. Those are great, and there's a dozen recipes for low-carb Cheddar Bay biscuits on the internet, and that's a whole other video. Today, we're only focusing on plain old fluffy biscuits, just like your grandma made. Now, our first contestant comes to us from the deft low-carb hands of Cooking Keto with Christy. If you've never checked out her channel, be sure to. I love her recipes, I love her videos, I love her advice. Now, this isn't a collaboration. Hell, I'm new around here, so she's probably never even heard of me. But I did recognize the general quality of her recipes. Plus, she's Southern, so she ought to know her way around a biscuit. Also, she uses oat fiber a lot for flavor and texture. It's completely insoluble fiber, zero net carbs, and I've really wanted to try it, so I think that's one of the options. Now, our second contestant today is a recipe from the Wolf Pit. You can check out his channel here. Now, I've selected this recipe because it nicely heads up the other category of biscuits, wherein we cut cold fat, usually butter, into dry ingredients. And then when that cold fat hits that hot oven air, it explodes into the dry ingredients, creating what we know as fluffy, flaky biscuits. But can we do that without traditional flour? Now, again, this is not a collaboration. Neither one of these fine channels know that I'm about to submit their recipe into this county fair. I hope I do them both proud. So the big question to answer here today is, considering taste, texture, and nutritional information, what's the best low-carb biscuit out there? Let's find out. So let's start with the Miracle Biscuits from Cooking Keto with Christy. Begin with 1/3 cup of almond flour and an oddly specific 1/3 cup plus 2 tablespoons of oat fiber. Now this stuff is super light and fluffy. It's almost the texture of baby powder. Now add in 1 tablespoon of sweetener. Christy calls for sucrin 1, but I substitute swerve sweetener because, well, both are erythritol blends and I can't find sucrin 1 anywhere locally. Now toss in the 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking powder and whisk these dry ingredients well. And just a tip here, be sure to sift your almond flour, even if you just use a sieve. That really fluffs up the dry ingredients and prevents lumps, especially if you store your nut flours in the freezer like I do. In a large bowl, combine 2 ounces of cream cheese and 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. And then we're going to microwave this in 30-second increments at about 60% power, stirring each time as we stop. Once the cheese has softened a bit, toss in the 3 tablespoons of butter and return to this game of microwave hokey pokey. It's a lot of 30 seconds in, 30 seconds in, 30 seconds out. You will get all of this melted butter mixed with the cheese, so just do your best. Let's add an egg to our dry ingredients. Add the cheese to our dry ingredients. Christy was sure this is, we just have to get these in, and she's definitely right. Just get it and make it all combined. So divide them in half and then try to get 4 biscuits out of each half for a total of 8. You'll need to let them bake a scotch longer than she recommends because they're slightly larger than hers. So drop them on parchment paper and bake them at oddly specific 325, 350. So when all is said and done, Christy's Miracle Biscuits come in at 0.5 grams of carbs, 1.3 carbs, and about 148 calories per biscuit if you make 8 of them from her recipe. That's a beautiful biscuit. I've got that is nice. These are a lot better than the last ones I did. Those are hot. Let's try them. That looks really good. Those look pretty good there, kids. I'm going to take just a taste now. Little bite. Oh, wow. They are really, these are better than the ones I made. I used a finer almond flour this time. The oat fiber really tastes like a damn biscuit. The mozzarella cheese is not even detectable at all. I would, if you told me that this, I would call you a liar and you in the teeth. Look at that. Look at. Oh, they're hot. Oh. I noticed a marked improvement the first time I made them. Right out of, like a real biscuit, a traditional biscuit, is going to be really tasty right out of the oven. And this is good, but to me, it's going to improve a tremendous amount with a little bit of time. So let's come back to this. Wow, that's good. That's way better than I was thinking it would the first time I made it. All right, we're going to put one more beautiful biscuit here. I'm going to snap a few photos of this for social media, whatnot. And we'll be back. Start with recipe 2 next. All right, keep up. So our second recipe is Wolf Pit's home low-carb biscuits. In a large bowl, combine 1 1/4 cups of almond flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and whisk them together well. Now, be aware that the first recipe called for baking powder and this one calls for baking soda, 2 different levels. Now, this is frozen butter, all right? It's hard, right? So the easier thing to do here is your butter. Instead of trying to cut in, I don't have a paper cutter, so we're going to just use a cheese grater and grate this butter, a small little piece, and this is will emulate. This makes life so much easier, freezing it. So now we have small slivers of this grated butter that we're going to incorporate into the dry ingredients. Now work quickly so that the butter has to take a break, put the bowl back in the freezer till you can return. Now bring your attention to 3 eggs. We beat these with a whisk or an electric mixer until light and frothy. Aerated, gently fold them into your dry ingredients just until everything is well. Again, we're working quickly here so the butter doesn't have time to come to temperature. So take a spoon or a portion of parchment paper. I got 7 generous biscuits out of this recipe. Hot 400-degree oven and find something to do for 12 to 14 minutes. So the stats for the Wolf Pit's buttery low-carb biscuits weigh in at 4.7 total carbs, 2.6 net carbs, and about 173 calories per biscuit if you make 7 from the recipe. So if you count net carbs like I do, you'll notice that this biscuit is exactly twice the net carbs as Christie's Miracle Biscuits. All right. So these are wicked hot, so I'm not going to try, but they really are different texture altogether. Look at the crumb in there. Looks good, huh? So let's see what they taste like. That's what I was afraid of. First started keto and a low carb. There was a thing called an oopsie roll, and my apologies to whoever created the, but it was made out of eggs and cream cheese, and you baked it, and it sort of goes like this, but it has an eggy taste, and baking soda honestly is a little too strong as well. You probably have to make the egg right, but the baking sort of leaves a metallic taste in my mouth. It's not wow. It's not a biscuit, really. I don't think it could be. But all right, let's try these against be right back. All right, so who's the winner of this biscuit battle here? This is a representative example. Butter into eggs and dry ingredients. It's rather eggy, it's rather cakey, but it's light. And I base this on texture, but also nutritional value, nutritional information. And of course, here is the cheese-based recipe, not a cheddar by any stretch of the imagination, but a very close approximation to what I would call a Southern biscuit. I've got to be honest. It's pretty. So right now, we're gonna make this place the second place. So there you have it, folks. The Miracle Biscuits from Cookie Dough with Christy, our winner. But I'm also here to tell you that second place is also a pretty good contender. Thanks again for watching this epic biscuit battle. Now, if you liked this video, hit the like button below, or better yet, like this video and subscribe to our channel. These videos are a way for me to maintain my focus on a low-carb eating plan. I've personally experienced the weight loss and better health that a low-carb lifestyle can produce, so I appreciate you guys coming along for the journey. We make videos every week, so if there's a low-carb recipe out there you'd like me to try, let me know in the comments below. We'll see you again soon.